Hey everyone, welcome back. If you've ever shared your home with a male cat, get ready. Because today we're diving into 12 facts about tomcats that most owners have never even heard of. Some of these are heartwarming, some are downright bizarre, and one of them, sitting at number 9, is genuinely one of the darkest things I've ever covered on this channel. So stick around until the end, because we're also going to bust a few myths that might completely change the way you look at your furry roommate. Let's jump right in. Starting at number 12. Male cats usually grow a lot bigger than females. On average, a tomcat can weigh anywhere from 10 to 15% more than a female of the same breed. That's largely thanks to testosterone, which drives extra muscle mass and a broader, more robust skeletal frame. Even after neutering, that size difference tends to stick around, though the muscle definition can soften a bit over time. Picture two kittens from the same litter, one male, one female, all grown up side by side. Often the male looks like he walked out of a completely different gene pool. But it gets even stranger, because size isn't the only thing that sets them apart. Number 11. They wander a lot farther from home than you'd expect. Male cats are naturally territorial, and unneutered males in particular are driven by one powerful instinct: finding a mate. Does your cat ever vanish for hours? Or even days at a time? Researchers who've actually put GPS trackers on outdoor cats found that intact males can cover ranges dozens of times larger than a typical female's turf. It's not unusual for a tomcat to cross busy roads or wander several blocks away, all in the name of romance. Neutering dramatically shrinks that wandering instinct, which is one reason vets recommend it so strongly. Speaking of instincts, that brings us to number 10. And this is one every cat owner has dealt with, whether they realized it or not. Male cats have much stronger scent marking behavior. You've probably heard about spraying, but here's the thing. It's not about anger or revenge, like some owners assume. It's actually a sophisticated form of communication. Male cats have extra scent glands on their face and body, and rubbing against furniture, door frames, or even your leg is their way of leaving a kind of calling card for other cats. Ever notice your cat, notice your cat rubbing his face against literally everything in the house? That's not just affection. That's branding. Spraying works the same way, just with more range. The good news? Neutering reduces the behavior in the vast majority of cases. And that's still not the craziest thing on this list. Not even close, because now we've arrived at number 9. And this is the one I warned you about. This next fact is easily the darkest thing on today's list, and it's something most cat owners never realize happens out in the wild. Some male cats, particularly in feral or unowned colonies, will kill kittens that aren't their own. Biologists call this infanticide. And while it sounds shocking, there's actually a cold, evolutionary logic behind it. When a female loses her litter, she becomes fertile again much sooner, which gives the killing male a chance to father the next batch of kittens himself. It's brutal, but it shows up across a surprising number of species in the animal kingdom, not just cats, from lions to certain primates. Now, before you start eyeing your own cat nervously, take a breath. This behavior is almost exclusively seen in unsocialized, outdoor, or feral cat populations. A well-socialized, neutered male living indoors with his family shows essentially none of this. In fact, plenty of male cats become incredibly gentle and protective around kittens, which just goes to show how much environment and upbringing shape behavior, far more than instinct alone. Okay, let's lighten the mood because we need it after that one. Number 8 is actually really sweet. Male cats can form surprisingly strong friendships. In multi-cat households or feral colonies, unrelated males will sometimes form what researchers call coalitions. They'll groom each other, sleep curled up together, even team up to defend territory. Interestingly, this bonding seems to happen more easily between cats that grew up together or were introduced at a young age. But even adult cats can form these bonds, if given enough time and patience. It's a nice reminder that behind all that territorial instinct, there's still room for genuine companionship. Now here's a fun one. Honestly, one of my favorites. Number 7. Orange cats are almost always male. Believe it or not, if you randomly pick an orange cat out of a crowd, there's about an 80% chance it's male. This comes down to genetics. The gene responsible for orange fur sits on the X chromosome, and because males only have one X chromosome, they only need one copy of that gene to turn fully orange. Females need two copies, one from each parent, which is a much rarer combination. So, next time you spot a ginger cat lounging on a windowsill, statistically, you're almost certainly looking at a boy. But it gets even stranger, because their looks don't stop changing there. Number 6. Their faces actually change shape as they mature. Ever seen an older tomcat with big, round, almost puffy cheeks? Those are sometimes called stud jowls. And those chunky cheeks aren't just for looks. Many scientists think they actually evolved as a kind of built-in armor, extra padding to protect against bites during fights with rival males. Once a cat is neutered, especially early in life, these jowls tend to be much less pronounced. One of the easiest visible differences between neutered and intact males. Now let's tackle a stereotype head-on. Number 5. Male cats can be incredibly affectionate. There's a persistent myth that male cats are more aloof or independent than females. Research suggests that personality and early socialization play a much bigger role in affection levels than sex alone. In fact, plenty of owners will tell you their male cat is the ultimate lap cat, following them from room to room, demanding attention on command. So, if you've got a big clingy tomcat at home, you're definitely not alone. Speaking of energy, number 4. Male cats often play rougher. If you've got a tomcat, you've probably noticed he loves a good wrestling match. Whether that's with a toy, another cat, or your ankle at 3 in the morning. This tends to tie back to naturally higher activity levels and stronger hunting instincts. It's a great reminder that interactive toys, the kind that mimic prey movement, aren't just fun. They're an important outlet for all that extra energy. Now, number 3, and this one ties a lot of what we've talked about together. Neutering changes a lot more than just reproduction. Beyond preventing kittens, neutering tends to reduce roaming, cut down on fighting, dramatically lower spraying, and is linked to longer average lifespans. Vets often point out that neutered males also tend to have fewer emergency visits related to fight injuries or accidents from roaming too far. It's one of those decisions that quietly improves quality of life across the board, for the cat and for the household. That leads perfectly into number 2, and it's still not the craziest part of what territorial instinct can do. Male cats tend to have far more dangerous territorial fights. Because of that competitive drive we talked about earlier, intact males are much more likely to get into serious physical confrontations over territory or mates. These fights often result in deep bite wounds, and because of the bacteria in cat mouths, those wounds can turn into nasty abscesses or even transmit disease between cats. This is actually one of the strongest arguments for keeping male cats indoors. It removes them entirely from the situations that lead to these encounters in the first place. And finally, we've made it to number 1. Every single male cat has his own unique personality. At the end of the day, genetics might explain some broad tendencies, but things like breed, early socialization, and individual life experiences shape a cat's personality far more than sex ever could. So whether your tomcat is a total couch potato or an unstoppable ball of energy, the real takeaway here is simple. Don't judge a cat by his sex alone. And who knows? After today's video, you might never look at your own tomcat quite the same way again. So tell me, which one of these facts surprised you the most? Was it the orange cat genetics? Or maybe that disturbing fact at number 9? Let me know in the comments. And if you've got a male cat of your own, I'd love to hear his story down below. If you enjoyed this video, hitting like and subscribing genuinely helps this channel keep growing. Though, of course, there's absolutely no obligation. We've got more deep dives into cat behavior coming very soon, so if you're curious about the feline world, you'll definitely want to stick around for that. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. It really means a lot. Until next time, take care of your furry friends, and I'll see you in the next one.